What is going on, guys, and welcome to the video and welcome to your very first tutorial. Now in today's tutorial we're going to see how we can be able to design a flyer for a brand that is responsible for delivering popcorn to birthday parties, home parties, and graduation celebrations. So make sure you stick around to the very end, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified each and every time I post a video. Now, if you're ready, let's hop into this. Now, we're going to design this from scratch, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the default setting of Pixel App Pro. And if you haven't still gotten this app, I'll put the link down in the description so that you can get access to this app. All right, so delete default. And the first thing we're going to do is to get a suitable background. So I'm going to go to this corner, right, and you scroll to this end and select from gallery. And what I'm going to do is, all right, I've already created a folder for the resources, so we're just going to be picking it up from there. Now, this was the background I used, and how I got the dimension was I selected these dimensions, the dimension 1:1 at this very end. So if you click on that, it's going to scale it to 1:1, and I click on this button over here. All right, when you click on it, it appears like that. Now the first thing we're going to do normally is to put on a logo, but in the flyer I showed you, there wasn't any logo. So I'm just going to create a box so that if in case your clients wants a logo to be placed, you have to have it in mind that the logo is supposed to be placed in that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the opacity, and once I reduce the opacity, I increase the stroke. So you can increase the stroke by that. Let's just take it to the very end, and if you scroll down, you give the stroke a color white. All right, so it's a little bit too thick, so I'm going to reduce it. Let's just make a box. All right, so at the very end we have something that is like our logo. That is not a logo, guys. So second of all, we're going to apply a text over here. So this is our headline text. Remember I told you headline texts are very important. It's a headline text that makes people want to read through your flyer, so make it very catchy. So this was from the client. So the client said um he wants the headline text to be Mitch popcorn. So I wrote it exactly as he recommended. So we're going to increase the size. Remember, your headline text is supposed to be as huge, as bigger than the rest of the other text. So how did I apply the font? I came here and click on font and click over here, right? When you click over here, you search on the font. So the font I used was Basement Grow Techix. All right, so accept that and increase the size. Now, something most people don't really take into consideration is the alignment. So here's what you need to do. Always make sure your design is straight, is very much aligned vertically and horizontally. So and and you have to also remember, like I said in your lesson, a flyer is like a letter. It should be straight. All right, so make sure you apply this. All right, I'm going to press it again. This over here, click on it. It's like our ruler. So you click down here and you can easily move this or this or this vertically and horizontally. So you can place it at this very end so that you can have a vertical alignment. So what you do is you bring this to this end, and the text is quite aligned already, and there you go. Now the second part was another text which was quite part of the headline text. So that was for any party, for any party. So that is all in caps. And how you can be able to apply that square easily, rather than just making a rectangle and placing the text on it, you can just easily go to background and you just activate it. All right, the color of the text, we will make it black. No, sorry, to make the color of the text, you're going to go over to where you have color. All right, so click on black. All right, so to put the color of the background, you go to where you have background, and once it's already activated, so we take red. Now I don't want to really take that red, it's not really reddish, so I'm going to go over here and clone the color from this. So this is another aspect called cloning. You see what I did there? All right, I'm going to take it over again. So this is the undo button, so you can undo that. The text is still there, so what you can do is you go back. I'm taking it over again, so click on background and you click on this plus button over here. So what you want to do is you want to clone this color. We want to take this, use this color as a color of the background. So once you place that, let's go over and click on the plus sign, then you click on this first, something like a pencil. All right, click on that and it's going to show you the various objects you're actually using in that project and how you can be able to clone from them. You just easily hold on this and put it in the position which you want, so that is okay. And when you're comfortable with that, you click on this button over here and click on OK. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is to select a suitable font for any party. So I think the font I used there was I can't quite remember, but I'm just going to stick with any other font which I know. All right, so let's go with OUT the Zibarr. All right, this is a very nice font, so stick with that and we reduce the size. So when reducing the size, make sure you also have your rulers intact, so you can always activate this anytime you want. All right, so that is that. And also you want to give some spacing so that the rectangle actually shows well, and reduce the size over again. You can see everything is aligned. Always make sure everything is aligned. All right guys, so the next thing we're going to add in are the various services they render. So the first is we're going to speak this, and for birthday parties. Second, for home TC. All right, so the text looks big. We reduce the size. Now we're not going to use that text. Remember, I told you guys, make your headline text to be very much visible as compared to all the others. So we're going to go with a very light and small font. So the font we're going to use is Optima Nova. So that's the font I use, and remember your ruler. So we scroll this to the end and adjust that. Remember, you want to give some spacing. All right, negative spacing is very important, or rather white space, not negative space. All right, so the next part is the part where we have call us for delivery. So call us for delivery. So all that in caps. Now the font we're going to use here is, we scroll to the end where we have font and we click in the middle. The font I'm going to use here is Biba that. So all right, so I don't know how to really pronounce all these fonts. Yeah, it is extremely difficult. So I just went with a simple yellow for that font, and as well make sure it's aligned. Alignment is very important and it makes your work very neat, so make sure you take that into consideration. And all right, the next thing we're going to do is go on shapes. You click on shapes, and how you can be able to get more shapes is that you click on this as well. So you have square, sorry about that, square, circle, semicircle, you have triangle, and all the rest. So we're going to use a square. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce this and place it over here, and we're going to make it thin, right? Drag this to the very end and bring this down a little bit. So there you go. Now your ruler, and you drag it upwards. So once that is done, that is already looking good. All right. So you want to give some spacing like I've said, and thirdly, you want to add in the contact details. So this is the last part, and it's supposed to be small compared to all the other text. So contact us. Now I'm going to put in my number. You might choose to want to momo me, so in for all of your momos, you understand? So the location. So the location I used was Tico Limbe and Boya. So there is it, guys. We reduce this to its appropriate size. And there you go. Now the other parts are quite simple. I want us to raise this a little bit upwards so we have more space below. So we drag this. Just by practicing, you get to understand how all of these things works. So what I'm doing is I click on position and drag this depending on the speed I want. So if I want to go really fast, it goes like that. If I want to go really slow, it goes as slow as that. So that's just basically it, guys. I can just write here, logo here, to get to understand how the structure is, so that you don't think that box is just there for nothing. All right, so the font I think I should use there is the font I applied here. So the other parts were as simple as hell. You just need to download those other resources online, and what I did was I downloaded this. So all right, here's what I did. To import something from your gallery, you click on import. Now when you click on import, you select the image and you put it to its appropriate size. When you put it to its appropriate size, the next I did was I still clicked on import, and I selected one of these. All right, you could choose to select either one of them. So when you download them, you can size it and choose the one you want. So for example, I'll choose this and simply place it over here. All right. So that is the entire tutorial of how I was able to do this. So that is the end of this video. Make sure you click on the subscribe button, like I said, and turn on the notification bell. You're gonna get notified every time I post a video, guys. All right, I'll see you in the next one.